Hey there, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking something that's, well, it's incredibly personal. We're talking about those quiet, unvoiced anxieties we all carry when we start noticing our aging parents slipping a bit. You know, those little everyday memory lapses we try to just brush off, but that secretly leave a pit in our stomachs. So today, we're looking at strengthening the ageless mind to help you guide your folks in maintaining their cognitive health and ultimately keeping their independence.
Okay, let's dive right into this, because this question right here, this is exactly where the anxiety starts. You're visiting your folks, right? Your dad walks from the living room into the kitchen, stops dead in the doorway, and completely freezes. Or maybe you're at a family barbecue, and your mom just cannot recall the name of a neighbor she's known for 10 years. The very first place our minds go is this just what getting older looks like?
And man, that frustration often morphs into something way heavier for them. Why am I here? Is something wrong with me? It's a silent fear your parents are likely keeping entirely to themselves. It touches on their absolute deepest anxieties about cognitive decline and, losing their independence. We worry these lapses are a slippery slope, but the material actually reveals that the narrative we tell ourselves about aging, it's fundamentally flawed.
Section 1. Undertrained, not shutting down. Rethinking memory lapses. We need to completely flip the script on how we view these moments with our parents.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core misunderstanding. We think memory relies on repetition. We assume if we just remind our parents of the same doctor's appointment 3 times or write a big sticky note, it'll magically stick. But in reality, memory is about what you use. The brain literally doesn't waste energy storing passive information. It only holds on to the stuff it actively engages with.
So your parent's brain is not slowly shutting down. It's simply undertrained. Think about it like weightlifting. If someone sits on the couch for 5 years and then tries to lift a heavy dumbbell, their muscles are going to shake, right? When your mom or dad struggles to recall a name, that is simply their brain waking up and trying to lift a mental weight it just hasn't lifted in a while.
Moving on to Section 2. 5 daily memory exercises. Simple steps to stay sharp. These are super accessible steps to help your parents stay sharp right from the comfort of their own living room.
We're going to look at 5 specific tools you can practice with them: the recall challenge, the mental map, the household swap, the story link, and the teach back. Let's get right into it.
Let's kick things off with the recall challenge. The premise here is super simple. Have your parent read something totally normal, a newspaper article, or heck, even a text message from a friend. Then have them immediately put it face down and actively force their brain to retrieve what they just saw. And make sure you assure them that if their mind goes completely blank at first, that mental friction is exactly the feeling of the memory strengthening. It's a good thing.
To really make this work, encourage them to hunt for specifics, names, places, or numbers. So if they just read a news story, ask them, okay, who was the journalist? What city did it happen in? Pushing through the discomfort of that mental search is exactly what solidifies their attention.
Let's move to our second exercise and see how this builds, the mental map. A lot of older adults move through their daily routines on complete autopilot. Well, this exercise fixes that. After your parent takes a short walk, literally even just out to the garden or down the driveway to get the mail, have them sit down and try to recreate the exact route in their mind.
You can prompt them with specific questions. Where exactly did you turn? What specific objects did you pass? Was there a pair of gardening shoes left out near the stairs? Every single time they reconstruct that map, they are training their brain to snap out of autopilot and actually observe their world again.
Exercise number 3 is the household swap. This one is all about neurological disruption. See, an older brain loves comfort and predictability, but comfort is exactly where cognitive growth stops. We've got to help them deliberately introduce a little chaos by forcing the brain to use the non-dominant hand for mundane, everyday tasks.
Suggest they try brushing their teeth, stirring their morning tea, or even unlocking the front door using their non-dominant hand. Now, definitely warn them it is going to feel incredibly slow and super clumsy, but reassure them that clumsiness is the literal physical sensation of their brain building brand new neural roads.
Now moving on to exercise 4, the story link. To help your parents remember a plain old grocery list, milk, eggs, shoes, you have to help them make the information so highly unusual that the brain cannot possibly delete it. The brain throws out the boring stuff, right? Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the deliberate absurdity. Think about the image of a giant egg wearing your shoes, slipping on a puddle of milk. I know, it sounds completely ridiculous, but that deliberate absurdity is a memory expert's secret weapon. Their brain might immediately forget a bulleted list, but it will absolutely remember that bizarre, cartoonish image. Finally, the fifth and honestly perhaps the most powerful exercise, the teach back. After your parent learns something new, whether it's from a book, a TV show, or a new hobby, ask them to explain it out loud to you, or maybe to a grandchild, as if they are the teacher. Because if they cannot explain a concept simply and out loud, they haven't actually absorbed it yet.
Teaching organizes and locks information into long-term memory. The actual physical act of speaking, of structuring a sentence to explain something to someone else, it forces their brain to connect the dots and cement that data for years to come. It is a total game changer.
Section 3. Building confidence every day. You are the architect. We've talked about the tools, so let's shift gears and talk about tracking progress and keeping them motivated.
So the crucial point is this. Memory isn't something you're just born with. It's something you build. To help your parents stay consistent, provide a simple schedule so they can track their progress easily. Seriously, just tape a weekly chart right to their fridge. Mondays are for the recall challenge, Tuesdays for the household swap, and so on. Have them physically check off a box each day. Seeing that visual progress day after day builds incredible cognitive resilience and, more importantly, confidence.
So, what does this all mean for you right now? Which exercise will you help your parents start with today? Look, don't overwhelm them with all 5 at once. Just pick one, map it onto that fridge schedule, and dedicate literally just 2 minutes to it today. You have the power to help them strengthen their ageless mind. If you found this explainer helpful for supporting your aging loved ones, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because helping them take back control, this is just the beginning.